My name is Yo Chi-kyung, metric number 262777. Now I want to present the question A1. Describe the psychological issue depicted in Still Alice movie. The psychological issue depicted in Still Alice movie is early onset Alzheimer's disease. Alice is an outstanding linguistic professor at Columbia University. When Alice 50 years old, Alice begins experiencing growing symptoms of Alzheimer's such as forgetting words, names, appointments, and location, lead her to seek medical treatment from a neurologist. Alice is diagnosed with an inherited rare case of early onset Alzheimer's disease. This disease caused the speed of Alice to forget something faster than remember something. At the end of the movie, early onset Alzheimer's disease caused Alice lost much of her ability to communicate and need her younger daughter to courageously provide 24-hour everyday care. I continue to present the question A2. What are the type of psychological disorder that was illustrated in Still Alice movie? The type of psychological disorder that was illustrated in Still Alice movie is early onset Alzheimer's disease. Early onset Alzheimer's disease is one of the specified diseases of Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive disease that begins with mild memory loss, and it can lead the patient to lose the ability to carry on the protection and respond to the environment. Thus, early onset Alzheimer's is dementia that will affect memory, thinking, and behavior. Those who are more than 65 years old and older will be the people who have a high risk of Alzheimer's disease. This disease caused by some of the another factors such as family history, genetic heredity, head injury, head-heart connection, overall healthy aging, cardiovascular disease, and so on. In the movie, Still Alice suffers from this disease due to her family heredity. To present the question A3, provide specific explanation about this particular disorder. Example, the diagnosis, the symptom, the treatment, and so on. The early symptom of early onset Alzheimer's disease is personality change such as brutality, frequent loss of memory, and lost memory about their familiar word and become confused about familiar word. The symptom of this disease also contain the lost interest in that activity they interest in previously, withdrawal from social situation, and so on. The diagnosis of the early onset Alzheimer's disease is consult with doctor to test for Alzheimer's disease symptom and exclude other possible causes of dementia. In specified case, the doctor possibly supply genetic testing to verify the diagnosis. The clinical test consists of a neurological test and the psychiatric test, and have a brain imaging like CT, MRI, PET, EEG, and other will be done possibly. The first of treatment of the early onset Alzheimer's is managing behavioral symptom treatment and slow down the symptom of disease. The caregiver can try to manage them through submission that may be effective, such as hear to his or her concern and frustration and try to show your understand with them to calm down their mood. Besides that, the caregiver also can try to let them keep as much control in his or her life as possible. If first treatment, which is not medical treatment, not efficient, the medical treatment will be used. The medicine will be used are sleep aids, anti-anxiety, anticonvulsants, and antipsychotic, but it must take appropriate dose according to the instruction of the doctor.
My name is Heng Xian, and my metric number is 261575. I'm going to talk about the life of a patient that diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. First, the patient will feel shock, fear, and overwhelmed when they heard that they are diagnosed with this disease, because the thought of being diagnosed with this disease never occurred in their mind. And thus, they will tend to reject the reality. They truly believe that they doesn't have this disease at all. But as time goes on, they will begin to accept their fate, and they will try their best to cope with the disease. The next is the impact of Alzheimer's disease to oneself and to family. In the mild stage of Alzheimer's disease, the patient is still capable of managing their life independently. They still can drive a car, they still can cook, and they still can work. However, they suffer significant memory loss than normal people did. For example, they will have difficulties in coming up with the right word or name, or even forgetting the material that we just read. In the second stage, also known as the moderate stage, the patient will begin to suffer memory declining even further and causing confusion in their daily life. For example, they are wondering what day today it is, forgetting events, and can't even recall their personal information such as their name or phone number. Besides, they are also unable to recognize the people around them as well. In the severe stage, the patient can no longer respond to the environment anymore. They are unable to hold a conversation with other people normally. and they will just simply sit at one place for forever until someone is there to take care of them. Moving on is the factors that lead to Alzheimer's disease in the movie. Alice Howland, the movie protagonist, has suffered Alzheimer's disease due to her family history. The research has verified this as a genetic inheritance. When your parents or grandparents have suffered Alzheimer's disease, then there's also a probability that your children will suffer the very same disease as well. And Alice is also the same in these situations. She was informed that she was diagnosed with this kind of disease due to her genetic inheritance from her families. And there's also 50% chances for Alice's children to be diagnosed with this Alzheimer's disease. However, a test can also be carried out to see whether they are inheriting this dominant gene of disease as well. That will be all from me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Steve Fong and my entry number is 2622571. I want to discuss about the theory in the physiology. The first theory is the social emotional attention theory. This theory related to the emotional changes associated with the Alzheimer's diseases. This disease is typically diagnosed after 65 years but can occur as early as 30 years. Based on this movie, Alice is just 15 years old but she had Alzheimer's diseases. When she have confirmed with her Alzheimer's diseases, her emotion become worse and depression. For example, she feels scared when suddenly forget the way of the university campus when jogging, and also she feel anger and two emotion when lost the handphone because she cannot remember where she put it. The second theory is the biological theory. This theory refers to the physiological disorders that are related to the biological phenomena, such as the genetic factor, which is the causes of the Alzheimer's diseases, which will pass on to the next generation. Based on this movie, Anna was tested positive because she is inherited from her mother Alice. But fortunately, she is diagnosed early and can take effective initial treatment. The third theory is the retrieval feature theory. This theory is referred to the pupil unable to recover the long-term memory they stored in their mind, such as forgetting the things they want to do. Based on this movie, the Alice cannot remember the word decision when talking about her study, forget the things they want to teach, and cannot answer the question on phone because she cannot again spelling the audible word. And last is she cannot follow the instruction that the video she had recorded before because she always forget what she does and has to go back downstairs and watch the video again. The last theory is the incentive theory. First is the intrinsic factor, which refers to the people are motivated because of the external reward. For example, Joe accepted the job offer in Mayo Clinic in Minnesota because of the external incentives such as cutting either treatment and computer resources. Because he not willing to take off a year at home to look at his wife's condition become worsened. The second is the intrinsic factor, which refers to the people are motivated because of the sense of the personal satisfaction. For example, Lydia always like to do the things that she enjoyable but not the things that are arranged by the other people, especially his mother Alice. So the Lydia is determined to be an actress even though his mother Alice want her to go back to the college.
My name is Ilenga Fernandez 26301. I present question D, three character personality in this movie. First is Alice. She is formidable and gentlewoman. She has strong personality. Although she is a professor at Harvard University, she's still capable for providing for her family. Always keep in mind everyone's preference, and she is also resilient person. When she knows she got the Alzheimer's due to a gene mutation inherited, she sought treatment and informed her children to have a check. After she sick, she recorded a video to show herself when she had forgotten. This screen quite impressive and clear that she is a confident, caring person. Second, about Lydia, the youngest daughter of Alice. She is a rebellious girl. She disregards her family's suggestion to attend university and instead to choose to be an actress. She also a observant girl. Lydia was the only one who had realized the change in Alice's behavior and attitude. Lydia also a patient and understanding girl, keeping up with conversation and reminding Alice. John is Ellie's husband. He is a very real and typical image of a husband. He is not particularly bad and always provides comfort and support to Ellie, but on other hand, he is a common strong man in life, lacking patience, self-centered, unwilling to communicate, and easy giving up.
My name is Siti Nur Atika binti Mohtar. My matric number is 267834. Now I will explain about types of learning that can be related to this movie. Type of learning that can be related to this movie is cognitive learning. Cognitive learning is a style of learning that focuses on more effective use of the brain. The second type of learning is the memorization. Memorization usually implies rote learning, a learning technique which focuses not on understanding but on memorization by means of repetition as the method of learning. From the scene, we can see that the neurology has conducted a cognitive process which is selective attention skill. Selective attention skill is one of the type of attention which define the ability to attend to a specific stimulus or activity in the presence of other distracting stimuli. In this scene, the neurology has asked Alice to remember a name and an address before he started to ask several questions. Then he also showed a flashcard and asked Alice to tell him what Alice saw on the card. Then we can also see that he asked her again the name and the address to see whether Alice can remember it or not.
Name and an address, and then I'm going to ask you for it again later, okay?
Okay.
John Black, 42 Washington Street, Hoboken. Can you repeat that for me?
John Black, 42 Washington Street, Hoboken.
Tell me what you see on these cards.
Pliers, a ladder, a seahorse, a screwdriver, an elephant.
Now, can you tell me that name and the address that I asked you to remember?
John Black.
And the address?
On the first scene, we can see that Alice practiced word recall. She writes 3 random words on a blackboard and covered it with paper. Then she set an alarm and started to memorize it while she is cooking. When the alarm ringing, she will say the word out loud to see whether she still remember it or not. Then she write another 3 words and repeated the same action. We can see that Alice do that to train her brain in memorize the word. On the next scene, we can see that Alice create a series of personal questions in her phone and she answered it every day, hoping that she will remember it for a long time. Then Alice also recorded a video of herself giving instruction to her future self because she know one day she can no longer answer any of the question. That's all from me. Thank you.
Stethoscope, William Hedgehog. Cathode. Granite. Jobs. Hi, Alice. I am you, and I have something very important to say to you. So I guess you've reached that point, the point where you can no longer answer any of the questions. So this is the next logical step. I'm sure of it.
My name is Rabatu Shamira binti Muhammad Syaril. My matric number is 267906. I will explain about motivation. Motivation are divided into 2 categories, which is intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is when an individual engage in a behavior because they find it rewarding, while for the extrinsic motivation is when an individual are motivated to perform a behavior or engage in an activity because they want to earn a reward or to avoid from punishment.
Help me find my phone!
I'll help you find it tomorrow.
Help
I promise
me.
you. Tomorrow.
No!
Tomorrow.
I want to...
I'll help
Help
you
me
your phone
find
tomorrow.
it!
One of intrinsic motivation is when John and all his children concerned to Alice's condition after know Alice had Alzheimer's disease. They show their love by give encourage and support to Alice. John really take care of Alice. He always accompany Alice visit neurologist, calm her down when a scene that Alice forget where she put the phone, comfort Alice when she pee on her jeans because she cannot remember where the toilet is. Other than that, Alice's children attempt to give support and courage at Alzheimer's Disease Association.
Lydia, don't you think it's time you reconsidered things? You're so smart. There's so much more you could be doing with your life.
Like going to college?
Yes, like college.
Yeah, like
Another intrinsic motivation is when Lydia did not want to go to college because she want to achieve her dream to be an actor. Alice attempt to convince Lydia that she should go to college and have a career like her other sibling, but she never agreed with Alice. She never gave up to achieve her dream, although she did not get many offers for drama. After a few months, Lydia suddenly get an offer to acting in drama theatre. All her family go watch and give support for her drama, and they surprisingly see Lydia's excellent acting skill. One of the intrinsic motivation in the movie is the method that Alice used to control her memory and make she do not forget things easily. There are a scene where Alice try quizzes herself on a word recall while cooking. She used a small blackboard to memorize the cooking ingredient. Moreover, Alice always playing a word game to improve her memory, and she decide to read a set of questions about herself and family detail. Then she will answer it every day in the morning to maintain her memory from loss.
Do you know that it took me 3 days to write this?
you can print out one more.
No, it took me 3 days.
Net extrinsic motivation is when Alice worked really hard just to doing well in her speech for Alzheimer's Disease Association. There are a scene where Alice on video call with Lydia, she said that she had spent 3 days to write the speech. She used a yellow highlighter to mark the sentence that she has said. She wanted to prevent from repeating the same sentence and forget the words of the speech. The audience feel proud with Alice because she successfully finished the speech. That's all of my part. Thank you.